Hello, my name is Jack Fitzgerald, and I'm a junior at ASU majoring in supply chain management with a minor in sustainability. For my topic, I wanted to question whether the current state of electric and hybrid vehicles on the market are truly more effective when you consider the charging infrastructure and battery pollution, or if there's other energy ideas currently in the works for personal transportation. I want to know if electric vehicles could be a mistake similar to the mistake European governments made in putting lower taxes on diesel vehicles because of a better fuel economy, when they later found out diesel was much more harmful for the environment and it was eventually repealed, as mentioned in my cited Forbes article. This matters to me because my parents both drive hybrid cars, and I plan to buy an electric car once I can afford to purchase my own vehicle. But I would like to know the full implications of the purchase. I trust that electric vehicles are a step in the right direction, but would like to know more about the future of sustainable transportation and whether or not we can push for even better options. I think the topic has a larger significance for other people and even non human life because automobile transportation is a major cause of pollution. The U.S. Department of Energy states that electric vehicles leave no tailpipe emissions and hybrid vehicles don't leave any either when operating in full electric mode. The downside to this is the possible effect massive amounts of vehicles charging on a grid powered by fossil fuels is, or the problems that comes with recycling the batteries. From what I understand now, the U.S. Department of Energy's article about electric vehicles' benefits and considerations, electric vehicles are generally beneficial and have a better fuel economy than traditionally fueled vehicles. They also emit less emissions and can lower demand for gas, which can have positive effects for the economy. I also know that although these batteries do produce amazing results, they are much harder to recycle than traditional car parts and sometimes have to be replaced, which could lead to shorter vehicle life and more cars produced, which is more so detailed in my Forbes article. Some things I would want to learn more about is the effects of charging the vehicles, especially as they become more popular. Another thing I'm curious about is the lifetimes of the batteries and if there is any innovations in the works that find a better way to recycle them. Finally, I would want to know if any other energy options are being worked on besides traditional battery-powered electric vehicles. As of now, my beliefs are that these vehicles are beneficial and possible consequences are worth the ecological and social benefits of a cleaner planet. I think my beliefs could be challenged by learning more about the alternate solutions of possible consequences, but I'm still a firm believer that a step in the right direction is usually good, or better than nothing. I think it will be difficult for me to confront the impact I have on the environment with my personal transportation habits. Although my parents both own hybrids, my car is not very environmentally friendly at all. Another thing that is difficult for me to think about, although these vehicles exist, they are mostly high-cost vehicles, and advances in technology will make them more expensive still. This brings to light an issue where people in harsher economic circumstances have less of an option to implement sustainable practices. It is just another facet of what makes this a wicked problem because I assume the more money invested into these technologies, the more money investors will want in return. Something I'm looking forward to is learning about developing technologies in the world of sustainable personal transportation. I'm also very curious about solar cars or possibly biofuels, but don't know much about the subject at all and eager to learn more about the pros and cons of all alternatives. After thinking of all this, I do strongly think my topic is related to sustainability because of the lasting social and ecological impact that personal transportation pollution and new vehicle technologies have on our planet. I think the juxtaposition between convenience of cars and massive automobile pollution prevents a wicked problem because it meets all 6 characteristics we discussed in class and challenge social ecological systems to change. The problem has a vague problem definition because the diversity among stakeholders ranges from car owners to company owners to future generations harmed by pollution. Each of these stakeholders may have a unique view on the problem, like some car manufacturers may not see it as a problem at all because it could take away from their market share. This problem also has an undefined solution because there isn't one absolute solution, because again, stakeholders could have different views on what a solution would even be if they can't agree on the problem. A solution for one person may not satisfy another stakeholder. The third characteristic is no endpoint, which is absolutely relevant to this topic. Even if everyone converts to current models of electric cars, new problems arise, like how to build the infrastructure for charging or disposing of batteries, and it would require constant innovation and striving for more solutions. I also see this as a problem as irreversible because it cannot be verified prior to testing it. Implementing any solution to this problem of vehicle pollution could cause more permanent problems that we would have to consider when we're thinking of solutions. And this problem is also unique because any solution would be very hard, maybe even impossible, to implement in a uniform fashion. Some people value the type of car they drive and care more about that than its ecological effect, or it may be harder to install infrastructure necessary in some countries or for people with less wealth. Finally, my problem is urgent because the growing population and more cars on the road daily, this is a mounting problem. We must work to find a solution because the effects of this problem are permanent and cause harm to our planet and future generations more and more the longer we take to address them as a united planet.